Sony Alpha A6300 review. 4K video and impressive focusing specs make the A6300 sparkle. Our verdict: the A6300 is a balanced camera with a decent detail, and conveys incredible execution in a scope of circumstances. Its self-adjust framework is superb, and its viewfinder ought to persuade traditionalists regarding the benefits of electronic units. 4. Good JPEG quality. Superb viewfinder. Quick and skilled AF framework. Against. Underpowered LCD at default settings. Show not contact delicate. No in-camera crude preparing. Sony may have put over the most recent couple of years reshaping the full outline showcase with a string of prominent minimal framework cameras, but on the other hand it's figured out how to at the same time keep its APS-C choices important and energizing. Update: the Alpha A6300, now and again alluded to as L6300LB, has since been supplanted by the Alpha A6500, yet it stays in the Sony mirrorless lineup. The more up-to-date A6500 highlights various execution changes, and in addition touchscreen control. Be that as it may, don't rebate the A6300 as it's as yet a superb mirrorless camera, and is currently more moderate than ever. Its past A6000 was especially demonstration of this, with a balanced spec sheet and incredible execution helping it to end up a fruitful model for the organization. Gratefully, the new A6300 holds what made that model so prevalent. However, the regions in which Sony has looked to enhance it should give it numerous additional layers of enticement to aficionado clients, regardless of whether they tend to shoot games, video or something different. As an upper-level APS-C demonstrate, the camera goes up against any semblance of the Fujifilm X-T2, and also the fresher and pricier X Pro 2, together with the Micro Four Thirds contributions, for example, the Olympus Pen F and more moderate Panasonic Lumix GX8. Strikingly, at its present value, it likewise involves something of a center ground against Sony's full outline options, being somewhat less expensive than the Alpha A7 II, however pricier than the still accessible A7 and A7R. Highlights: the Exmorcimos APS-C sensor keeps up the same 24.2 MP pixel. Consider the one inside the A6000, in spite of the fact that the sensor itself is recently created, and includes copper wiring in its development to support readout speed and light social event effectiveness. Sony has additionally said that refinements to the camera's Bions X preparing motor mean it can crush all the decency out of the new sensor, with specific spotlight on low clamor. High determination brings about the upper scope of the camera's ISO 151,200 effectability traverse. Sony has likewise outfitted the camera with its 4D focus framework, with 425 stage distinguished f pixels that achieve nearly to the peripheries of the casing. This is the most noteworthy number of stage distinguished focuses we've seen on a compatible focal point camera to date, and this thickness, together with 169 extra complexity identify focuses, is said to empower the camera to center around moving subjects in as meager as 0.05 seconds. Moreover, the camera's stage distinguished directs proceed toward work when utilizing A-mount focal points by means of a connector, which will no uncertainty satisfy those climbing from the more seasoned framework. Those aiming to utilize the camera for moving subjects will likewise be satisfied to discover that not just has the 11 FPS blasted shooting choice of the A6000 been kept up, with center following and introduction balanced all through the burst, however that a marginally slower 8 FPS elective choice is additionally close by, with a power outage between each casing to give a comparative affair to utilizing an optical viewfinder. Video recording has additionally gotten a lot of consideration. Rather than the full HD standard on the A6000 and most different cameras at this level, the A6300 increased to 4K shooting in the Super 35mm organization, a first for a non-full outline Sony display. Rather than utilizing pixel binning, this catches 6K film, that is oversampling the scene, before downsampling it to a 4K determination, a procedure that Sony claims produces remarkable profundity and detail. Different changes incorporate another ZAVCAS codec utilized for the above, and the S-Log gamma work. On account of the progressions made to the centering framework, Center velocities are additionally said to be twice as quick as the framework inside the A6000, while a 3.5mm mic port has likewise been incorporated. The 3-inch show on the back, with its 921K spot determination and capacity to be tilted, has been carbon replicated from the A6000, which implies it's molded in the video-accommodating 16:9 viewpoint proportion, albeit tragically it is anything but a touch-delicate screen. The 0.39-inch electronic viewfinder over this, anyway, or TrueFinder in Sony speech, has now been outfitted with a 2.359 million spot XGA OLED board, against the 1.44 million specs seen beforehand. On the off chance that this viewfinder sounds commonplace, it's likely on the grounds that numerous other Sony models higher up have additionally donned one with comparative specs, from the Cybershot RX1R2 smaller to the A7 group of mirrorless models. Amplification is by and by set at 1.07x, which is generally proportionate to 0.70x out of 35mm terms, and Sony additionally guarantees that setting it to its most extreme show rate of 120 fps outcomes in not very many afterimages. Different changes incorporate enhanced residue and dampness obstruction, in spite of the fact that not exactly to a similar sprinkle evidence level as the Olympus OM-D EM5 II and Fujifilm X Pro 2, and also a check for keeping shots level, and another quiet shooting mode that should see the camera more suited to touchy conditions. Battery life has likewise been supported, with 350 edges sighted when utilizing the viewfinder and 400 casings when utilizing the LCD screen, in spite of the fact that the number really accomplished will be liable to show settings and picture inspecting propensities, in addition to other things. Regarding network, the camera is outfitted with the standard USB and HDMI miniaturized scale associations, with Wi-Fi and NFC within to keep things link-free where fundamental. Similarly as with the dominant part of such models, it records all pictures and recordings onto SD, SDHC and SDXC media, with help for up to UHSI, and also the less normal, Sony Particular Memory Stick Pro Duo Organize.